is not as important as the appropriate conditions in place, as President Moon Jae-in emphasized several times that Inter-Korean Summit is not likely to take place prior to the resumption of the annual joint military exercises, which have been postponed to be held after the end of the Pyeongchang Winter Olympic Games and Paralympic Games. And North Korean authority is certainly going to protest the resumption of the military exercises, and the response by South Korean government and the United States government jointly will be determined the prospect of Inter-Korean Summit between Pyongyang and Seoul to be held. But in terms of South Korean government's interest in maintaining the leverage upon Pyongyang, I don't think South Korean government has no reasons to rush to have the Inter-Korean Summit meeting, which will be the third one in history in the earliest possible date, as claimed by North Korean authority. Waiting serves the interest of South Korean government.
North Korea is now actively showing its will to hold Inter-Korean Summit, and I must point out that this is quite unusual, and this is in stark contrast to its previous stance in recent years. Why?
Well, Town, there's a reason when somebody who used to be criticizing you that you tend to dismiss the person because you're rich and you have a very strong neighbor called Uncle Sam. The person may not like to talk to you quite often, and the person. What if the person suddenly seek you and ask for a friendly meeting? I mean, it is most likely that the person desperately needs something from you. That's North Korea today. North Korea has been totally dismissing South Korea as a legitimate stakeholder in inter-Korean security situation until the beginning of this year. Now, North Korea tries to embrace South Korea as its best friend because South Korea has become suddenly the best strategic asset to Pyongyang. Interposing South Korea between itself and the United States, allegedly considering taking some military options toward North Korea. So North Korean authority suddenly finds the utility of South Korea. The point is that the Moon Jae-in government is very well aware of such a strategic calculation made by Kim Jong-un government of North Korea, and it decided to walk into the trap because seizing the trap can serve some benefits for South Korean government as a player between Pyongyang and Washington D.C. To ensure peace and stability on the Korean Peninsula for a while, and try to create momentum, which will eventually help lead to a meaningful denuclearization talk, bilateral talk between Washington and Pyongyang. So the problem with the Pyongyang is that we have seen these so many times before. You must be able to also testify on this as a reporter, right? Covering these issues for many years.
For so many years, yes.
So North Korea's strategies to embrace South Korea is subject to the law of diminishing return because North Korea's strategy has been too much exposed. So I don't think North Korea has a very strong leverage upon either Moon Jae-in government of South Korea or Trump administration of the United States.
Now, marking the Lunar New Year holiday, the South Korean government has also renewed its call on North Korea to hurry and push for a reunion of families separated by the Korean War. Do you think the family reunions can take place even though conditions are not yet met for Inter-Korean Summit?
I think so. North Korea will find it's in its interest to have at least one time reunion of the separate family members as a way of showing its genuine interest in keeping the momentum of improving inter-Korean relationship. It's another matter whether North Korean government is ready to accept the proposal made by the South Korean government during the second inter-Korean summit meeting between Mr. Kim Jong-il and the late President Roh Moo-hyun in the second summit in 2007. South Korean government made three proposals at that time regarding reunion of separate family members. One, make it regular event, not just one-time event. And two, allow correspondence between separate family members in the north and in the south. And Third, the governments will do their parts to discover whether the separate family members have died or still alive. But three conditions were flat rejected by North Korean government. So if North Korean government is going to accept these three major proposals regarding the separate family reunion, then it will be regarded as North Korea making a genuine effort in keeping the momentum of inter-Korean relations, which will also be beneficial for South Korean government to try to persuade the United States to give it a chance to talk to North Korea on the denuclearization.
I really hope that the family reunions can take place because time is running out for most people on the
Right,
list.
time is running out. If all surviving separate family members in South Korea are going to have at least one chance to see their family members in the north, we have to arrange meetings for 7,000 members of separate family members in South Korea every year.
That is a large number. Now, President Moon is taking a very cautious approach to post-Olympics inter-Korean relations. When can we expect a more detailed outline of the Moon administration's North Korea policy from this point on?
Well, Moon Jae-in government has already clearly outlined its North Korea policy. Is that it is important to keep the momentum for peace and stability that is created during the Pyeongchang Winter Olympic Games. It is important to keep the momentum in inter-Korean dialogue and cooperation, but everything should be decided in the framework of international consensus that North Korea's missile and nuclear programs and facilities have to be eliminated. So I don't think there will be a departure of South Korea from international coordination and cooperation to put the maximum pressure, probably in the form of the economic sanctions on North Korea, until North Korean authority is going to make a fundamentally different and bold strategic decisions.
One last question for you. We only have about a minute left. What kind of gestures or actions do you expect from North Korea after the Olympics? Do you expect a provocation too?
If North Korea is going to engage in major provocations, including another nuclear test or the ICBM test, it will be suicidal. It will just ruin any momentum created by North Korea's participation in the Pyeongchang Winter Olympic Games, and Moon Jae-in government will find it extremely difficult to, try to support North Korea's position in any major ways, because solidarity between the United States, Japan, and South Korea will become enormously important. So it is up to North Korea whether it will find it's strategically advantageous to engage in another provocation, or restraining from that will serve its strategic interest better.
All right, thank you, Dr. Bol. We appreciate your expertise.
You're welcome.
And that brings us to the end of our show. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to get more updates on domestic and global news throughout the day.